Welcome back, everybody. Two big calls out on Apple this morning. Bank of America raising its price target to $330 from $290. And RBC also raising its price target. It's now looking for $330 from $295. That stock briefly topped $300 yesterday, and its market cap now stands at $1.3 trillion. For some context, that's nearly 11 IBMs. Joining us right now to talk about Apple's rally is Alan Patricof. He's the founder of Greycroft Ventures and one of Apple's early investors. Alan, are you still an investor in Apple?
I wish. No, it's a long, long time ago since we were invested. I was thinking yesterday when we invested in Apple, it had a $60 million valuation.
And that was...
Try multiplying that.
Yeah. And then it went back down to, I think it was... when Scully left and they brought in Gil Amelio. Do you remember that?
Oh, God, that was a short run, yeah.
Yeah, but it was $9 billion then, I think, and now it's $9 trillion.
Oh, yeah, 1.3 trillion.
Yeah, right. Not quite $9 trillion. Yeah. I'm not saying it's never going to be there, though, I'll tell you.
Betting against this.
Right.
Well, you know, it's interesting because a year ago today, Apple's stock tumbled. It was a very big day, took down the entire market because Apple said that they were seeing some tensions with the China trade talks that was causing problems and slower sales in China and other places. Where
it started out at 150, went down to 140, ended up at 300. I mean, it's been a great run for Apple. I mean, this has been a terrific year, and I frankly don't see how this thing is going to stop. I mean, I think he's got an engine that's, you know, I was looking the other day. They've had, as I counted them, 21 new product introductions last year. I mean, they're refinements of
the new earbuds and different things like that.
Yeah,
new
the
phones.
Mac Pro. You know, do you have facial recognition or not? I mean, everything changes a little bit, but it's not. It's amazing. I mean,
you know, the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, I think investors look at this stock very differently too. No longer necessarily just a tech company, but also a consumer company, a consumer products company that has built an ecosystem that kind of loops people in.
It really is. It's almost when you go see the lines. I live right near an Apple store. There's never without a line, and we're in a residential district. You go to another city, always a line. You go, of course, the 59th Street store. There's always a line. Someone is coming to an Apple store for something all the time. And to me, I think this new applications in the healthcare area and what they're going to do with the watch and what they're going to be able to tell you about your, not just your sleep, but all your, I mean, they can measure almost anything out of this. Yeah. It's just incredible. And then you top that off with the earbuds, which I don't have the latest number, but
voice-canceling ones?
I got to believe it's going to be approaching 100 million of these out today and growing like crazy. I'm sure it was a very big Christmas present. You may have more of the up-to-date facts, but I think they've got a great engine going.
Alan, you said you couldn't think of anything, or couldn't see anything stopping this, but a year ago today, people were very concerned about the China trade talks and that being a huge issue. Tim Cook's done probably a better job than just about anybody in terms of being able to walk a very fine line, but there is the chance that those trade talks go south and the tensions kind of flare back up there.
Well, there are always exogenous factors that are going to affect the market. That's why I got out of the running public money and got into the venture capital business originally, because I woke up every day and something affected something I owned that I had no knowledge of, and it just hit us. And I said, I want to be something where I can get closer to the action, and that's what the venture capital
business was. Wasn't to make more money?
No, it wasn't.
That was the end result, though, wasn't it? That was a good move.
Well, it was enjoyment. I mean, I really got more interested in being involved in the early stages of building businesses. Yeah. Which is how we got involved in Apple. Apple was in that stage at the time.
You never
thought. Not a public company.
You could have never, no one could have thought that. Oh. We were talking about that the other day. Anybody walking by has an iPhone. How do you invent something that everybody in the entire country has one of, and then do it again with this AirPods?
That's why I say I don't know how you knock them off. I mean, something else is going to come along. Every day there's something else that attracts.
My music comes from Apple, but soon my TV is going to come from Apple.
You read, of course, about Richard Plepler joining.
Yes,
I saw that.
And Richard he's a formidable resource. I mean, he's very talented. I mean, we've all watched Bright Little Lies and Game of Thrones and all the other stuff. He's a very creative force and will be a big addition.
They want me to do this. Alan, I'm willing to wait till you're gone.
If you want to wait a long time?
No, I'm willing to wait till you leave the set to do a Trump tweet. Or do you mind? Can you just?
Sure.
Do you mind if I do that? Because that's not going to.
At least you're apologizing before you do it.
President Trump just tweeting: Iran never won a war, but never lost a negotiation. I guess that's a dig. That's a dig at the John Kerry, Barack Obama deal with Iran. I guess saying that they won that negotiation. It is. As I said, I apologize in advance for that. Let's get back to that's. I didn't want to get you. I didn't want to set you off. Let's go back to.
Why don't we talk about Biden? Coming out with record numbers. I mean, that's
record numbers of what?
Raising money.
Fundraising.
Last quarter, yeah.
Oh my God!
So did Bernie.
Bernie had twice as much.
But Bernie always had. I mean, but Biden is in a way the comeback.
You're spinning Biden's paltry numbers positively.
Yeah, $22.5 billion.
Baghdad Bob, and now that we're talking about Iraq.
Yeah, but if you spend your money wisely, you don't need as much money as the other guy.
Okay.
Look at it from that standpoint.
All right.
Alan, while you're here, I want to talk to you about David Stern, a good friend of yours, a friend of the show. You were with us on the day that he went in for surgery just a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you've known him well. We talked yesterday about the incredible impact he had on the NBA. He took over that league when it was troubled, built it into an amazing place. 30 years as the commissioner, and even Roger Goodell said he was the commissioner of all commissioners that everyone looked up to. What are your thoughts on this day?
But David is a very special guy. He joined us accidentally. I met him. I didn't know him till then. I knew of him. But
you had hired him before the NBA and then again after.
Yeah, but hired is not, we didn't hire David. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to do with the rest of his life, as a lot of people do. And I said, why don't you come and sit in one of our meetings? We have regular meetings every Monday morning. And he started coming in, and he kind of liked it. And it was like a whole new world to him. I mean, he didn't know the lexicon. And the most charming thing about him is he would ask questions that I'm sure a lot of, certainly the younger people, had the same questions. They didn't know the acronyms of the business. And, what's SaaS? And he'd make fun of things. But over the last 5 years, I mean, I would almost say he was a venture capitalist. I mean, he started investing in some of these smaller companies, and then not just sports, at every company that came in, it added to enhanced our image, but they all wanted him as an advisor. I have to sort out afterwards with Diane, his wife, and find out exactly how many he's got, because he had kept a separate office, so he would meet some of these people separately. He was an advisor. He was on the board. He probably has his own portfolio that's maybe not quite as big as ours, but we're investors together and things. And of course, in the sports area, I mean, there was never a meeting since the day he joined us that someone didn't get excited that they were going to meet David Stern. I mean, he had an image far beyond the sports industry. If you walk down the street with him, I mean, he was stopped by everybody. And I think, he was controversial. I saw Jim Dolan there was a private reception last night, and Adam Silver, and they were saying he was controversial. He would say things that he was a very sincere guy, had a great curiosity. He will be sorely missed. Certainly this Monday, we will have an empty seat at our meeting, and a quiet moment of silence, but we really will miss him because he always added to the conversation, no matter what it was. He built a business. That's the thing. It wasn't just being a commissioner of basketball. He had a huge business he was running.
Well, he took the league. Charles Barkley, we mentioned this yesterday, but he joined. He was in the draft in 1984, just after David took over the NBA. He pointed out that average player salary when he started in 1984 was $250,000. Now it's $9 million because of what he did with the international, building it up, and with the television rights.
Yeah, well, I think
were multiplied 30-fold over his 30 years.
Yeah, and he got the owners angry at times. But he got the players angry. He took some courageous decisions. Yeah. The Magic Johnson decision was a very courageous one at the time, the right one, I think. It certainly had a big impact on people's perception of that horrible disease. Mm-hmm. And Magic Johnson is still around to celebrate it. But
that was peak hysteria when he did that as well to play on the Olympic team.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
quite peak, but pretty close to
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
In a tumultuous 30-year, I mean, to navigate through that without knowing what the future was going to bring, he made all the right moves.
Oh, yeah. And he was like that in venture capital. I mean, I just to wrap it up, when he came, just for fun, I gave him, I'll tell you a story that's not known. I gave him a card which said David Stern, intern. Then everybody in the office said, you can't be an intern. He was a special advisor. But one day, I don't remember, a few years ago, I'm a friend of Bob De Niro also, and he played the movie The Intern.
Oh, that's right. That's
So
right.
I got
That's
this
the
idea.
elderly guy.
I got this idea
right.
of having a lunch with David Stern, the intern, and Bob De Niro, the intern. And we went up to, I don't know if it was Sistina or some place. Bob ate lunch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the three of us had lunch in this empty restaurant. And I put these two interns, these two 75-year-old interns together.
Right.
So David Stern, the intern special advisor, is going to be missed by a lot of people.